Hi everybody, this is Liam Martin from Running Remote, and in today's video, we are going to be talking about 5 things you need to know before coming to Bali as a remote worker or digital nomad. There's a lot of problems in Bali that you gotta solve before you come to Bali, and I'm the only one that's gonna be able to tell you the real deal. Let's go. So this video is twofold. It is actually to just be a general warning to remote workers and digital nomads that are coming to Bali to kind of understand what the heck is going on. And number 2, we run a conference in Bali called Running Remote, which is the largest conference on building and scaling remote teams. And there's plenty of people, it's their first time ever coming to Bali, and they always end up having some major problems when they end up coming. So it's twofold. I'm gonna talk to the general community about what you need to do to be able to make sure that you are successful in either just hanging out and checking out Bali or doing a longer term stay in Bali. And number 2, all the attendees of Running Remote, this video is for you to be able to really kind of make sure that you end up at the conference safe and sound. So point number 1, so when you go to Bali, you're probably going to want data on your phone. Bali does not have Uber, unfortunately. It does not have Lyft at the time of this filming. So you're going to have to get local cabs to be able to take you around. I highly suggest you just hire a driver. It's cost effective enough to just be able to pay a driver to get you where you need to go. But you need to be able to negotiate that stuff before you end up landing. Usually, whoever you're gonna do a short-term rental with at the very beginning will have some type of trusted driver that will be able to charge you a reasonable rate to be able to get to your place where you're gonna stay. From Denpasar Airport to Ubud, it's probably gonna be about $20 US approximately. I mean, those prices could go up in the future, but that's generally the price point that you should be paying to be able to get into Ubud, which is about a 45-minute to 1-hour drive. But this all connects back to data, your SIM. So you're going to need to get a SIM, and one of the unique problems inside of Indonesia is you need to be able to do a security check before your SIM gets approved. So it can take 24 to 48 hours before your SIM actually activates. It's a bit of a pain. I don't really know why they do it the way they do it inside of Indonesia, but that's just the way it is. So as an example, for most of our speakers that want SIMs, we preemptively actually go and get them SIMs. So we just submit their passport information and then we have a SIM ready for them that they can just pop inside of their phone. Now, if you don't have that, or if you are willing to go through the 24 to 48 hours without data, good on you. Let's see if you make it through. But for most other people, a beautiful solution, particularly for Americans, is Google Fi. So Google Fi is a SIM system. If you have a Pixel as an example, you can literally, it's a software fix inside of your phone where you can get $10 per gig in 172 countries all over the world, which is more pricey, it is more expensive than in Indonesia, but the ability to just land and have your data up and running with your same phone number is super powerful. So that's what I use when I travel internationally. Google Fi, just Google it and you'll be able to go and check it out. It's a fantastic service. And if you have a Pixel product, it is literally a software switch. So you can just download the Google Fi app, activate it while you're in the United States, and then when you land in Indonesia, you'll be up and running. From a geographic perspective, you really have to understand where the different areas in Bali are. And in essence, I can boil this down to 2 general areas. There's the coast and then there's inland. And inland is mostly Ubud, and then the coast is Denpasar, it is Canggu, a couple other areas. And where mostly the coast is for more of a party scene, more of a fun environment, and then inland is more for the quiet, long-term remote workers. I personally prefer inland because it's just a more relaxed environment. There's less crazy stuff going on. It's less expensive. I would actually say it's nicer than on the coast, but if you can't deal without having a beach or without surfing, I mean, you've got to go down to the coast. It's got some of the best surfing in the world. So totally up to you. I personally like inland, but it's really up to you as to what you want. Third thing is you need to be able to figure out long-term rentals when you're there. So when you go and just book something through Airbnb, so I would suggest you book like a week on Airbnb or through a hotel for 1 to 2 weeks just to kind of get your bearings. So maybe spend 1 week in the coast and 1 week inland to kind of get an idea of where you would like to be. And then after that, start talking to locals. So usually go to co-working spaces, talk to friends of friends, and you'll usually be able to get a rental at about 50% lower than what the posted price is on Airbnb or VRBO or any of those other types of platforms. Personally, for me, this is the way that I negotiate every single time that I'm gonna get a place down in Indonesia, and much more cost effective than doing it the old-fashioned way through Airbnb. It's kind of weird that the old-fashioned way is Airbnb, but that's it. Yeah, doing it the old-fashioned way, doing it digitally, not as good as doing the deal face-to-face. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is you really need to be able to talk to the community beforehand, like the Running Remote community or any digital nomad community in that particular area before you really settle down. So you can literally just go to Facebook and type in like Ubud Digital Nomad or Ubud Remote Work as an example, and you'll find these Facebook groups, and you'll usually be able to ask a couple questions or go through all of the Q&As inside of that group and get a pretty good idea of learning the ropes in that particular area. I would also go check out Ubud and Dojo Bali, which are two of the largest co-working brands in Indonesia and in Bali in particular, and go and spend a week there, chat with some of the people that work there on a regular basis to get a feel for if this is a place that you would like to be able to spend an extended amount of time in. I believe for Running Remote attendees, they get some type of a special deal where you get to spend like a couple free days in those co-working spaces regardless. So when you're here, just check that out and we'll be able to set you up. And the last thing that I want to talk about is usually you'll end up getting a 3-month visa, a tourist visa for any of these, for anywhere inside of Bali. So, and basically any other country as well, as long as you have like a North American passport as an example. So you're going to have to fly in and out every 3 months to be able to make sure that you don't overstay your visa. You can get a longer term visa obviously, but 3 months is the standard. So you're going to have to find a really cheap place to be able to fly in and out of. People usually fly to like India, or sometimes they fly to Australia. Those prices are quite cheap, but anywhere in Southeast Asia is probably pretty cheap. It's going to cost like $200 a month. Just recognize that that's an extra cost that you're going to have to deal with when you are coming to Bali and you want to stay long term. You're going to have to fly in and out. Kind of a pain, but just the reality of long term work when you work remotely. So that's basically the big kind of points that I want to touch on. I also want to be able to make sure that everyone has the chance to be able to win a free ticket to Running Remote. So all you have to do is subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this video, and put a comment down below. It can be any comment, but what I suggest that you write about is, did I miss anything with regards to points on how to travel to Bali for a long-term stay as a remote worker? Or do you think that these points are really stupid and I should delete this video? You can put that down in the comments, and I will choose someone at random to be able to get a free ticket to Running Remote, which is the conference that we run every year down in Bali. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any other questions, post them down below, and I'll see you in the next one.